Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live.
Here we are.
Drink of something. We're here. We're back.
Monster. Zero sugar.
I'm on the coffee tonight.
There you go. We got to stay up late.
I know. Crazy. I got up really early this morning, so I'm hanging in there with the coffee tonight. So welcome back, everybody. Wednesday night. Excited to be here. I'm right.
I'm so excited. I can't even hide it.
Yeah, man. We've got Tennessee/Kentucky Bass Nation winner from a few weeks back, Kyler Branham, in here with us tonight, and then we've got a couple of Texas boys, BDH and Philip White, coming in, right?
Who were in Texas Bass Nation tournaments. The winners didn't respond to us, so we just picked our favorites down the list.
That's right. That's right. So it's gonna be a good show from those two, anchor states in the world of kayak fishing. That's where most of the sticks come from. Big trails there. So I mean that's the deal. Texas and Tennessee holding it down.
Yeah, boy.
What's going on in your world, man? Oh, well, I'll tell you this. We had the Kayak Angler magazine on, what was that, a month or two ago for the yak off announcement, and talked about
the boys been yakking off for a couple months now.
They've been yakking off, and the last man standing is a man that had the stamina for a yak off like this, Jake Suvak.
He has been training, I feel like, for years for this yak off marathon.
Yeah, he won. I'm gonna throw him up on the screen because he won. I like Jake. Good guy.
I do too. Jake's a great dude.
Him and Chad Davison, who also has been on the show a few times, were in the finals. Some of the titans of the industry were put out early in the early rounds. So
just didn't have the hands for it, I guess, or
no
forearms for paddling. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's
Jake,
a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, find Jake's Instagram. Look at this, all the competitors that got knocked off in the last man standing.
Just a row of dead bodies.
Just laying them, just knocking them down. The Giant Slayer.
Yeah,
let's
they're
see,
just
Chad,
falling
Wesley,
out
Drew,
on the boat ramps everywhere.
Even Gene Jensen got put out. Our boy Ethan Jett got put out. Crazy. It hurt Chad Hoover so bad he almost knocked himself out on the boat ramp because of it. I mean, it was terrible. It was terrible. But Jake,
that was a nice little edit that went up on the page. I didn't know what was coming. I knew it was going to be something amazing, and I about ran off the road when I
hey, just two videos spliced together.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is key, I guess.
No AI.
Real deal.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, tournament fishing, it's like we're in the thick of it. April and May. I mean, it's going on all over the place. Tennessee. Have you been able to fish anything this year, Ryan?
Bro, I fished 2 days in September.
Dang, you on that volleyball.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back to real life in a minute. I think she just got out of school yesterday for the summer. She's like, we're going to the gym to work out this morning. Her and one of her volleyball friends. So they were up and at 'em. They stayed here last night, up and at 'em at 8 a.m. ready to go on the Eastern time. I was like, I'd like to sleep a little bit myself. Would be cool.
Let me drop this comment in there for you, Ryan. Check this out. Jeff took some of my money Saturday on Beaver Lake. I can tell you
are lying to me.
The old man
Jeff
dusted off the rods and reels, man. I got him I got me one of those little catch measuring board trophies this weekend. I actually cashed
Look
the check.
At you. Good job.
It was Beaver Lake, and I did something very well, it's not really strange. It's really suits me. I decided no graph, no batteries, no anything. Jig rod, Texas rig rod, buzz bait, spinner bait. I'm going fishing without any of that. No motor, and pulled it off. You can still compete with that, apparently.
In PFL style.
That's right. I went and did all, and I knew the lake was flooded, so it was going to play into shallow fishing anyway. It's about 8 feet high, so but yeah, it was cool to go out there and get it done with a jig. Jig is what did it. So,
Levi, happy belated birthday, pal. By the way, big Levi, big little Levi.
Levi, he's holding it down in the AOY race here in this local trail. He's up there high because he's finishing top 10 every time. He did it again this week. He was up there again. So
Top shelf, I don't know who you heard that from, but don't give them any of your money because they're wrong. Champlain is nowhere close to Tennessee.
Nope. If y'all are checking this out on X, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're at, hit the share button, the repost button, used to be called the retweet button, or on YouTube, just comment down below the video. We love comments in the live stream, but comment down below the video and like it. That helps kind of push this out to more people. So we appreciate y'all because I know we're on a weird night. We've missed a week, so we got everybody out of whack.
Top shelf, just trying to get the rumor started. I appreciate that. I always love a good rumor or two going around.
Yeah. The Bassmaster Series is coming close to my house here pretty soon, coming over to 10 Killer.
I know. I've had a lot of people at Philip White ask if I was gonna jump in that, which also is not close to Tennessee. So no.
Yeah. So there you go. But yeah, that'll be here in 2 weeks. Doing a little get together over in Tahlequah. I may go. I'm not gonna be able to fish the tournament, but I may go over to Tahlequah Thursday night and see Steve-O. It's not that far.
Yeah, I know. Steve-O messaged me from their Pickwick tournament and asked if I missed it at all, and I was like, "Nah, dude, I miss hanging out with y'all, but I'm doing all right."
Levi said we replaced his pump up music.
So
no pressure.
Okay.
So we need to yell cuss words at you because you're lifting weights. Is that the deal? Get that up. Get that last rep, Levi. Boop, boop. I knew you were weak. You're a scoper.
Whoa. All right. Shots fired.
I'm just kidding, man. Just trying to get him motivated through anger and hate.
Yeah, that's how you motivate people. Never change, Jeff. Never change.
Love Levi. One of our local guys here. So awesome. What do you say? We want to get Kyler in here, man?
Yeah, let's do it.
Kyler Branham, welcome.
What's up, guys?
Living the dream, pal.
Yeah.
So before we get into the tournament, Kyler, I want you to tell people what you do in the industry here. You've helped me with some websites and logo designs and all kinds of stuff. Give some folks a little bit of background on you.
Yeah. So I actually started out as a software engineer, and I still do that, my 9-to-5 bullshit job, but it's horrible. But I started in order to pay for tournaments, I started building websites for people, just, within the fishing industry specifically or outdoor industry. And it kind of, I think in like 2019, it kind of, I wouldn't say blew up, but my first real gig was with Cash In Rods. I redid their website and worked with Paul Benson and Matt Cashin and all them. And it just kind of progressed from there. So, I built Ryan's photography website. I've built the Tackle Traps. I managed their website. I managed Save More Outdoors website. If y'all don't know Save More Outdoors, John Sukup's business. Okay. So, I've got a few other websites that I kind of help manage or, kind of keep up to date. Precision Hardware. Steve Oates. Yeah. So I kind of, helped him out with that. He was having some issues with an agency, and I was like, you know what, just cancel that agency, come over here, and I'm way cheaper and nicer. So that's just kind of what I do, just to kind of pay for tournaments and stuff. So it's been pretty awesome. I've been pretty blessed.
So if anybody has any website needs, you're launching a business, anything, hit up Kyler. He can help you out. Or if you already have an existing site, you want to optimize it, hit him up and he'll take care of you.
Yeah, anything on Wix. I can do a full redesign, Shopify, WordPress. It doesn't matter what you got. I got you.
And if folks are catching this on the audio podcast later, how do they get a hold of you for that? Just DMs and socials? Or
yeah, just DMs right now. I'm kind of in a middle of a brand change because it was kind of funny. About 2 months ago, I was sitting there looking at my email, and my company is named Apex Angler Solutions. I'm sitting there, I was like, man, that's corny as shit. I need to come up with something better. So I've been sitting here trying to do a rebrand and try to do something a little bit more, simple. But yeah, just send me a direct message either on Instagram or Facebook. And my Instagram handle is, I think, Kyler Storm Fishing. I think it's pretty simple. So yeah, Kyler B. Fishing. That's my Instagram handle. You just send me a message and we'll get started.
Now you're in Kentucky, but I see an Ohio logo of Strictly Sailing Kayak on your Turdy X profile there. So are you on the border somewhere close?
Yeah, well, I live in Louisville, unfortunately. Yeah, lots of it's never stale here, but no, it's not bad. No, I've known Brian for quite a while, and there's not actually a kayak shop in like the north central Kentucky. I think the only kayak shop we have is Canoe, Kentucky, and so I've known Brian for a really long time. So I work with him quite a bit.
That's who Jay Whalen was with too, correct?
Is that right? Yeah. He's still with them, I think.
Jay's fishing as much as me and Jeff.
I'm back.
He's got that.
I'm back.
Yeah, he's hit a few tournaments up, but he's been itching to get back out there.
He said he's going to be a pro pontoon boat driver. Him and AJ took AJ's new rig out the other day and caught some pretty nice fish there. Like, it felt good to just relax. And I was like, what was it, a PA-17? But it was an actual boat this time.
He just went on and bought a boat.
Yeah, AJ told me about that before he did, and I almost didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it, but looks like he puckered up. I know.
So tell us, obviously you're from Kentucky. You cut your teeth fishing with Jay and AJ, right?
Yeah, they whooped my ass every chance they got, to be honest with you. And, I even sat there, I think, one tournament and watched AJ just fish. I just was trying to learn. And during a tournament, and the dude took a swim bait and cold up like 4 or 5 times in a row. And I'm just like, how the hell are you doing this? And he's like, I don't know. Like, I just AJ, like,
yeah, AJ,
great
full
guy.
Of emotion anyway.
So I started fishing back in like 2016 with
we lost your audio a little bit, I think. There we go. All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry.
There we go.
All right, cool. I started back in like 2016, just fishing the beak when AJ was running the BK Bluegrass Kayak English Trail. In my first tournament, I had to get off the water like halfway through the day. I didn't bring enough water with me. I had a Jackson Big Rig paddle. Like, the thing was a bitch. And it was a real bitch. And so I ended up getting so badly sunburnt that I had to like stop in the next town and take a nap because I thought I was just about to die of heat stroke. Like, I had no idea what I was doing.
I could tell when you said Jackson Big Rig. Oh man. So you obviously done well, coming up from that. And this tournament was on Kentucky Lake, which has especially the past like 5 years been a tough fishery. We've seen some improvement over the last couple of years, people starting to put some better limits together, but super scarce still. Like, once you get out of the top 5, top 10, it drops off hard.
Wait a minute now, Ryan. Right? Jay Wallen said it's on the comeback.
Hell, he says it every year, Jeff, and then people go fish it. But I want to hear from Kyler. What do you think about it? I know you're on the optimistic side of Kentucky Lake, as most folks in the area are. How did it fish this year? Did you have to cover a lot of water, or were you seeing more bait fish? What's it looking like?
Man, I didn't leave one spot the whole day. I fished a long facing south point, and which wasn't my original plan, but there were more than expected anglers at my boat ramp. And so what I was going to do is cover a lot of water, fish buckbrush, flip and pitch, what I like to do. And that just kind of changed like at a whim. I didn't have a practice or anything, so I didn't really know what it was like, fishing. I had watched some like invitationals They were catching some big smallmouth out there, jig and minnow type stuff.
Yep.
To me, it's tough to say because there are days out there you can have an easy 25-pound bag day, and there's multiple people that can catch those in that same tournament. And then you just got those off days. I think it's on the up and up. I think that the way that the TVA is handling the flood control is allowing those fish to actually have some good generations of spawn and actually get off the banks after a while. So you're seeing a lot of 2 to 3 pound class fish, largemouth was, and then obviously the smallmouth are kind of blowing up there right now.
The smallmouth seem to survive that influx of Asian carp and eating all the plankton, which in turn killed a ton of bait fish. Like when we went up there 4 years ago, you didn't see bait fish. Like you didn't see balls of bait anywhere, especially on the ledges. Like there was no bait out deep anywhere. So I think, the smallmouth, they thrived a little more because they're, primarily targeting crayfish and stuff. They weren't so focused on that, big schools of bait out on the ledges like the largemouth were. But it does seem like the largemouth are coming back in numbers. But like you said, it's a smaller class of fish right now. You're not seeing those. I mean, used to, 23, 24-inch largemouth was caught in every big tournament we had up there. It's a little different ball game now.
Yeah, and here's the other thing is I think that Kentucky Lake is not going to ever be that traditional ledge fishing lake like it used to be. It's definitely changing. I overheard, I was listening to, a bass fishing tournament just live, and they were talking about how somebody was finding what they call log perch. So smallmouth were actually targeting log perch as another food source.
Never heard of her.
Never, yeah, same here. So I hope she's
I'm gonna Google. I hope
she's built like a nose tackle.
I'm kind of nervous to have that on my browser, but I'll take a look at it.
That's what they had said.
Google log perch and let's put that.
Well,
let's put that
I'll make sure I turn my VPN on first.
Yeah, I want to see what a log perch looks like. It's probably some local native boat up over a log. Is what I'm afraid.
No, it actually just looks like a little perch.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind.
Let's here. We'll pull it up.
You've disarmed my fears.
I know.
I'm
gonna pull it up.
I won't lead you astray. I promise.
Yeah, no, never.
Here we go.
Well, look at that little fella.
A common log perch. Look at him twitching along, getting ready to get eaten by a smallmouth.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
It's got a little carp mouth.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like a kind of suckerfish type deal. All right, fair enough.
Common log perch. We did it.
And everybody knows what a log perch is. So go out and
There
buy
you
some
go.
log perch swim baits. Get rid of all your gizzard shad.
I've got some log perch glides. I'm selling at $4.50 a pop.
There we go.
What was that heat our boy Abby got into on like swim bait underground on his big log perch or whatever he made? He got attacked by the rabid swim bait fans, which I have no idea anything about them. And Dylan texted me and he's like, "They're after Abby," and I was like, I could care less about a swim bait. Or
that's a whole subculture, right?
I know. That's what he said.
Really
he's like,
is.
"Those guys are worse than KBN." I was like, "Oh well, whatever."
Yeah, it cracks me.
They're fanatics.
The dude that makes KGBs lives like 10 minutes from here, and the stories I've heard about, the counterfeits and the black market sales. I mean, it's like, what are they selling? Cocaine? I mean, what's going on here? Inside
the swim baits. That's a smuggler's dream.
Yeah.
I mean, there was drama at the Classic just over glide baits. I forget the freaking company, but they had a line wrapped around, and it was $300 for one glide bait, and it was just. I mean, to me, that's just outrageous. Like, I can understand. I've got some $120 ones because I like fishing glides every now and then, but like that's a little outrageous. $300.
It's hard. Especially, for me. I lose baits too much. It's hard for me to risk that.
It's like you're gonna spend $300 and everybody's winning the tournaments on crappie jigs. So what do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's strange to me that market is still there. Kind of the shift that we've seen. The past 3 years or so with live scope and tiny minnows.
Yeah. Well, they're using. I mean, Polinick, he used a down in Okeechobee. He used a glide on live scope.
Yeah.
You can weight them down and they have great action to them. And I mean, they work. It's just, that takes skill.
Well, we talked to, Ewing when we had him on a couple weeks ago for that Del Hollow tournament. He caught all his fish doing what you would think, and then switched over to glide bait and said he lost 2 or 3, giants that were coming up on that glide. But that's glide bait fishing is, you're fishing for one bite with that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think I forget a lot that most people that bass fish don't tournament fish. So maybe they may be out there just scoping and slinging a big glide bait and not worrying about if they get one bite a day. You know what I mean? So
get that pick and go to the house.
That's it. That's it, man.
So you already said you didn't get to have any practice for this tournament at all.
Yeah.
Did you fish history? Like what kind of clued you into the area you wanted to go to?
Yeah, I fished history. So when we had the Hobie event, a couple of, I think in 2022 or 23, it was the Hobie event that we had. Like, I think Ryan, you were a part of this issue where we had caught the same fish twice.
I was found out on the
yeah, same here. So I had gotten a top 20, I think, at that event, and I was just going to go there. I knew that there was a big tournament out of Kentucky Dam Marina, and so Little Bear was kind of out of the question, and some other spots up there were just, I didn't want to go up there and fish history. That I've caught some bigger fish up there, but I just decided, hey, I'm going to roll in and see what that's like. There's some good offshore structure. There's good flipping bushes in the back with small channel swings or creek channels right beside those. So like a lot of options is basically what I was looking for. So, but ended up not even flipping a single jig. Like I threw a football jig all day.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much what my plan was. And when we had 7 or 8 other kayakers show up, that just kind of pushed me out. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go out and have fun and see what happens. I had no expectations at all since I had just come off a horrible Dale Hollow finish. I had lost like 4 or 5 really good ones there to put me in the top 25 or something like that. And that broke me. So I was like, I'm just going to go out here. If I don't catch anything, it is what it is. Who gives a shit? And within the first 15 minutes, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to stick around this little area for a while.
So were you graphing the fish? Were you scoping, or were you just kind of casting at visual targets?
I had a split on my graph of the map and side imaging. I didn't put live scope in the water all day. Went out there. It's a pretty obvious point, super long coming from the bank. I mean, I don't want to say 200 yards long. Like it's pretty big. And so I just started at the end and worked my way up on one side and, just kind of kept my eyes like rotating on some other stuff. There were bass boats coming in behind me. I had one dude come in behind me wanting to fish the area, which, I told him straight up. I was like, hey, you can fish this point with me. I've only caught 1 fish. I haven't practiced for a tournament. So by all means, like I really don't care. And so he came in front of me and fished a little bit, but he was, as usual bass boaters are, they move on way too quickly and didn't catch anything in that area. So I was like, all right, like I gave him the chance. So started throwing a finesse football jig. It's a queen tackle peanut jig. It's like very light wire hook. I had that with a Berkeley Maxent stank bug on it, green pumpkin.
Stank bug.
And oh, dude, if you like those Zoom, the super speed crawls, this is like a beefed up version of that. Like it's a sweet little soft plastic. But that caught a 19-inch smallmouth right off the bat in the first 15 minutes for me.
I saw you had a good mixed bag there when Jeff had your stringer pulled up.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think you have to. Like, I think to win this one, you got to have some brownfish.
Yeah, 100%.
The greenfish are just not prevalent in the longer links, it doesn't seem like.
You would think. But as I'm working my way down that kind of the backside of this point, sitting in like 20 feet of water, casting up. At the top of the point, or the kind of like the top area, is like 2.5 feet, and I look towards the bank, and there's a wolf pack chasing shad.
The old
So I put
pack.
oh dude, I was so pumped. I haven't had a good topwater bite in like 7 months. I was like, I need this. So it was like me trying to ask for like an 8 ball of cocaine or something. I was like, I'm hammered down. I'm trying to get up there to that bank. So I pull the topwater out, and I start walking the dog. And I caught 3 of my keepers doing that, with that 18.25 inch largemouth being the biggest.
Well, there you go. That's worth it.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
And then just worked my way back out. And then I caught the 19.75 back on another jig. Like, my 2 biggest fish came on the jig. Yeah. So I just kind of locked that in my hand the rest of the day.
That used to be all I would throw up there. Like, it was always a football jig, bruised green pumpkin D-bomb on the end.
Mm-hmm.
Had some good times out there with that.
For sure.
So, tell us, you said it was a light wire finesse football jig. Tell us about your setup for that.
So the setup I've got is kind of a weird setup. I stole it from Matt Allen from Tactical Bassin, actually.
He's on here.
But it's a oh yeah.
Well, sort of.
Sort of. It's a Mega Bass Orochi XX. It's the EMTF Extreme Mission Type F. It's actually built as a crankbait rod. And it was just a happy accident that it's a good finesse jig rod. So that, with I think 15-pound line and it's a Diozillion 8-5 is what I had on there. And that was my setup. And so I was able to set the hook on those fish without, really kind of ripping their lip out. I like to set the hook. It feels good. So I don't like the whole lean. Yeah. I don't like the whole leaning into it. I hate spinning gear for the most part. So I don't like leaning into it. I want to make sure they know I'm there. So, and that rod allows me to do that without, ripping the hook out or kind of bending that wire out. Come on up.
I hear it's fun.
They say.
Yeah, that's the rumor, is that fishing's fun.
Used to be.
Hey man.
No, it's fun. It's a lot.
What else? What else do you have on the radar for the rest of the season here?
Well, I just finished up Pickwick. I'm gonna try to fish Nickajack, Gunnersville, and Old Hickory. I know that Luke Graham's got the AOI pretty snug right now for Tennessee Bass Nation.
He's so consistent, man.
Dude, he is. He's such a stick. But Pickwick had me wanting more. I got a 6th place in Big Bass there, so I'm wanting to go down to Gunnersville now. I've got to win too just to beat them. So it's a long shot, but if there's 2 places that I could probably do it, it's either Nickajack and Gunnersville.
Nickajack will be wide open. Nickajack will be anybody's tournament. That's just how the lake fishes. Like, it's not a place where you're going to roll up on 100 inches. It's going to be a tight race. Gunnersville, sure. you can get a honey hole down there.
Yeah, I've never had a lot of good luck at Gunnersville. Like, I've caught some big fish down there, but I never got on like a pattern or a school, or that place to me is an enigma. Like,
what time?
I know a lot of people.
What time of year is that?
July.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah,
that'll be toasty.
Yeah. I'm already feeling the toastiness from Pickwick. My legs are crispier than fried chicken right now.
You're going to have to get a sunscreen sponsor, it sounds like, from our interview.
Dude, well, it was my dumbass mistake for wearing shorts. It was cloudy enough. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll just wear shorts, get a little base tan going. And at the end of the day, I had 2nd-degree burns. So
yeah. There ain't nothing like wearing shorts and getting that nice 2nd-degree, like the inside thigh white skin that hadn't seen sun in 6 months, getting that nice burn right there.
I told Jay at the end of that day, I was like, there's nothing like getting your legs toasted, catching 2 catfish on scope, and then your kayak taking on so many waves that you have to go to the bank and bail out with a 12-ounce Coke can that you cut open to bring you back down to reality after a win. Like, that was just the most humbling moment I ever had.
You cashed a check though, didn't you?
I cashed a big bass check. I got knocked out of Pickwick. I know it, but it was just still like kind of bring yourself back to normalcy there, because you kind of ride high for a bit and you think you're king shit on Turd Mountain for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
That's so
long
funny.
past. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on, and congrats for taking the Kentucky Lake win, and good luck at Nickajack and Gunnersville. Hopefully you can catch up on some points there.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you guys having me.
Go get them. Yeah, man.
Thanks.
See you, man.
See you.
All right, next up in the library we have
BDH.
The legend of KBN Live. BDH, Brian Howell. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
How you been, buddy? We ain't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been kind of just low-key the last couple months, I guess.
I thought you took up pickleball, too.
Nah, I just wasn't doing all that good the first part of the season. Just was kind of frustrated about it, and it is what it is. But now I'm starting to do better, so I got out of the rut.
Getting that confidence back.
Yeah, exactly.
I know Jeff was like, yeah, I looked at the Texas Bass Nation standings, and Brian finished like 20th. I was like, no. I don't care about Texas Bass Nation. He won a tournament, and then he finished second to Philip White. So we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, all right.
I was looking at Saturdays, which was a good finish in that field, but I just was confused. I was glad you were on anyway, though. I didn't care if you finished last. I'm just glad BDH.
Well, that's what I told him. I was like, first and second didn't respond, so we're going to pick our favorites out of
yeah.
bunch.
Hey, why not, right?
No.
Last weekend was like really tight. Had I caught 120-incher, I would have been up there in the money, but I couldn't find any big fish.
Yeah.
Where was that tournament last weekend at?
OHIV.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How does that fish this time of year? Because, everybody is kind of familiar with like the wintertime / pre-spawn bite out there. That's all the publicized stuff when people are catching the giants. But what does it fish like now?
Not that great, to be honest. Like, not what you would think. I mean, it's either you get a giant or you get a bunch of dinks. Like, for most people, it was just a bunch of dinks. Like, you're catching tons of 14s to 16s, and then if you got a 19 plus, then you're probably doing pretty dang well. That was the separator for most people. Like, you got 1 or 2 over 19, 20, you were good.
When we went down there, like, Jason Kahn and co were like on the front. He's like scoping for him, like trying to put him on monsters, and I'm just bored as shit because, like, we got 3 adults on a boat here, and I'm like, so I started throwing a jerkbait off the back, just waxing little fish, and I was like, this is way more fun for me. Like, y'all are chasing around these monsters and aren't biting anything because they've seen 7 million Alabama rigs come by them today. Like, but I could tell that the average size of fish in Ivy is not, it's not like a fork or something, like where you're going to go down there and 80 people are going to have 90 plus inches. Like it seemed like a tougher lake.
Yeah, I think like 91 won it, I think, something like that. Like, and for you would think like, oh, it's Ivy, everybody's gonna catch 100 inches. No, That's not the reality.
Is the water still down?
Yeah, it's still down.
Is it always down forever? Like, I've heard 2 stories of it being normal level and everything else has been 14 feet low, 16 feet low.
Yeah, it's just one of those West Texas lakes. They don't get that much rain. It just stays low constantly. And they might get one freak storm or something, and it fills up, and then 2 years later it's like way down again.
Well, let's go back a couple weeks to this win that you had, because not only was it a win, which is not uncommon for Brian Howe, but it was on Texas, the new Super Lake, which I always mispronounce, but I believe it's Bodark. Is that right?
Yep, that's how you say it.
I want to say Boise d'Arc or some craziness.
I do too, yeah. Boise d'Arc.
But Bodark, the new Super Lake. So first, tell us how the lake's shaping up, because I know we've had a lot of reports out of there that it's going to be fantastic when it's fully mature, but it's really good right now, right?
Yeah, it's like it's for sure. It's going to get better and better. Every year, it's going to get better. I know, Steve was asking what lakes he should put on the Bassmaster schedule for 2027, and I posted my top 3 picks, and I thought about it after. I'm like, why didn't I say Bodark? Like,
don't say it. Don't do it.
National event there, or like some Roadrunner event where you can fish a couple other lakes around the area plus Bodark. It's not like the biggest lake. It's only, I think, 13,000 acres. But in 2 years, it's going to be phenomenal. Like, it's already pretty good. You can go out there and catch just a ton of, like, just quality fish. Like, you won't catch giants. I remember I fished it last year, and I caught like a 21 and a quarter, and that's a big one for out there. But you can catch all the 19s, 18s you want, like, have a solid limit.
And what kind of slot are they running out there to manage growing some trophies?
I think it's the same thing as fork.
Okay, yeah.
We're like, okay, that works. Let's just stick with it.
Yeah, then it's going to be that. It's going to be the super.
But I think it's a little bit more restrictive than fork. You can't even retain a 24-incher. Like, you can take pictures of it, or if it's like during the ShareLunker season, they can take it. But other than that, you can't even keep it in the boat.
Oof. So it's going to be the perfect kayak tournament lake because it's all catch and release for us. That's awesome.
Well, the tricky part about it, so I've been like keeping up with Con's socials, and he's caught like the lake record 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But they're like 18-inch fish, and they're like 19 inches around. Like, these are the weirdest looking, like, smash face. Like, you can tell. I mean, there must be just an outrageous amount of bait in there, because those fish are. I mean, their cholesterol is through the roof.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, that's the thing. You're catching 19 inchers, 20 inchers. It's like, oh, this is a 7-pounder, and it's that big. It's crazy. Like, you're like, weight wise, if you could just weigh everything in a weight tournament, it'd be a damn good bag. But instead, it's like, oh, you only caught 95 or whatever, and it's like that was 25 pounds or something. Yeah.
It'll be good. I mean, once it matures, and they they kind of engineered it to be that way, right? They stocked it, out of the breeding program, correct?
Yeah, they put tons of ShareLunker fry and everything in there. They're doing everything they can to make that the next Lake Fork. Like, and so far, it's good. It's super healthy. It's got a little bit of grass, a little bit of pads, mostly just timber, just tons of timber. That's the thing, though. It's kind of hard to fish. Like, there's only so many things you can do because there's so much timber, and it hasn't broken off yet. It's all that fresh, new timber with all the branches, all that.
That's what I was going to say. From the videos I've seen, it's like green timber. Like, if you just ran a water hose in your backyard for 2 years, like, it's, pretty like flood. It looks like it's just flood waters more so than an established lake, I guess, because that stuff hadn't started to decompose or anything.
Yeah, like, give it a couple of years, I'd say. And once that stuff starts breaking off and then the fish start getting, they're already fat. Just they need to get length longer, just get longer, and we'll be good. It'll be a phenomenal fishery. And I live less than an hour away, so I'm stoked for it.
You fish it quite a bit?
I've only fished it twice.
Really? No shit. Just went out there and won it and like, all right, this is my lake.
Yeah, I fished it last year for the Texas Bass Nation Championship, and I got second place in that one. And that was the first time I had ever seen the lake. I just went out, was like, okay, whatever. I had avoided it because it was crowded all year long because it was the new hot lake. I was like, all right, let's go see what happens and just do my thing on the new lake, and somehow figured out a good little bite. I was just flipping deep trees then, just in like 20 foot of water. Guillermo made a video about it, like, a few months before that tournament, just talking about Bodark, and I was like, well, I can try that at the tournament, and that worked. Nobody else thought of it. Nobody else was out there flipping the deep trees. They were just doing other stuff, and I was like, was I the only one that watched that video? And I said something about it. They're like, oh yeah, I saw that, but
you went back and there was one view,
and it was you. I didn't.
Like, yes.
Man, that's crazy. Well, let me throw the leaderboard up on the screen here. Take us through that day, man. What'd you figure out on your second trip to the lake?
Yeah, so I started in the same exact spot as the first trip I went. I just started in this little pond, and it's, now you can kind of see it on the map, and before in the Google Earth imagery, you couldn't tell if it was in the water or not, so no one had started there the previous tournament. This tournament, there was like probably 3 or 4 of us were in there. And we're all fishing around. There's grass in there. There's pads. I had one that I lost in there, and I didn't have another bite. And then I talked to, one or two of the other guys, and they weren't catching anything either. So I was like, this is strange. Like, you'd think this would be on fire. But for whatever reason, I think we had some, like, weird weather, like, the day before. It was raining and stuff. So I was like, maybe they're just in a funky mood. So I decided to just pull out of there a little bit and start flipping trees. And the thing is, there's so much trees on that lake that you just have to figure out like where they're positioning in the trees. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go flip trees and just instantly find them. Like, you're like, okay, are they in the 2-foot deep bushes? Are they in the 25-foot deep trees? Where are they at? So I just started flipping around trying to get a bite. Really wasn't having anything. I'd pick up one here, one there, whatever, little ones, just like kind of piecing it together. I caught one off a bush in like 4 feet, and I was like, okay, maybe just start fishing bushes in 4 feet. And I think I picked off another one. Started fishing around more and more, just trying different areas, just new water and stuff I hadn't even been to before, because the previous tournament I caught all my fish in like 15 to 20, 22, something like that. So I was like, well, I'll just find shallow trees this trip and just fish new stuff. And then I'm flipping along, and I catch like a 19 off of, another tree, a somewhat shallow tree. And just like, okay, it's kind of clicking. And I honestly just continue doing that. Just from 4 to 8 feet of water, just flipping a beaver with a 1 ounce weight. Because those trees, like I said, like of all the limbs, you got to use a heavy weight to get through there. Use the light weight. You're probably not going to get to the bottom unless you shake that thing like 25 times every time it hits a branch,
Like you're in the Yak Off Awards.
Yeah. Anyway, I have I think 3 fish at this point, and I go and flip another one in a tree, not even a tree, it's a bush, and like 2 foot of water. I'm trying to pull them out of the bush. It's like a 19, 20 incher, which, for Bodar, that's a pretty good one. So I'm like struggling, like, oh, come on, let me get this in the net. I grab my net, go put my net out to try to go scoop him up. He's stuck on a little limb. And as soon as my net gets within like a foot of him, boom, I just see him shake his head and come off. I'm like, what? This sucks. I was still like, man, I only have 3 fish. I forgot what time it was, but it was, probably like 11 or noon or something like that. And I was like, man, I still got 3 fish. I was like, well, I'm just going to keep flipping because I'm getting bites and they're good ones. Like, if I can get, 2 more, I'll be solid. So I kept doing that. Picked off one more, like a dink, like a 12-incher or something like that, I think. And what else? Like a 17 or something, I think. I was like, okay, I have my limit, but they're little, and it's like finally I had a limit. But it was like 2 o'clock, and then I just moved into this little area, like 8-foot deep trees, and it started flipping. And I caught in that last hour, I probably caught like 8 or 9 or 10 fish. That was more than I had caught the entire day. It was insane. I don't know.
Were you graphing at all, or were you just throwing at visual targets?
Just flipping at visual targets, just what I could see, what looked good, just kind of based on what I know about the lake from the previous
just real
trip.
fishing.
And, you can see the certain types of trees or certain bushes. You're like, that's what I'm getting bit on. There's always something like that. You don't necessarily want to flip at every single thing, but you'll be like, okay, I'm getting bit on the big trees or, the cedar trees or this or that, whatever. And you're kind of focusing mainly on that. You'll hit other stuff too if it looks good, but like the main thing. So I knew what to kind of look for. So I was flipping through and picked off like a 19, and it was like another 19 and an 18, and they were all pretty much good ones. And it was just insane for the last hour. I forgot. I think I have it pulled up. Let's see at the time. I think let's see, 1, 2, 3. 3 of my fish out of my limit were from that last hour.
Pretty good way to finish.
Huh?
It's a pretty good way to finish.
Yeah, exactly. Because before that, until it was like I think 1 or 2 or something like that before I even had a limit. So I was just super stoked. Once I got the limit, I was already I had a pretty decent limit. I think I called once, and then I was in the money at that point. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be good with this, but, let me just keep fishing. And it was maybe a little stretch of trees, not even 50 yards, probably less than that, 25 yards of trees. just fishing along and caught 8 to 10 fish out of there, and just I don't know if it was the wind or the area or what, but for some reason, because there was like no wind the whole day until that last hour or two, and then it picked up, and maybe that's what it was. I'm still not sure why they decided to buy it that last hour. And it wasn't like everybody was like, oh yeah, I smashed in the last hour. It was like, I was like, oh, it was okay or whatever, but for me, it was on fire.
You said something really important a little bit ago about there's always a little something when you're fishing a lake full of trees and timber, because the first time I ever went to Lake Fork, I'd never seen anything like that, years ago. And it's easy to get overwhelmed by all of that. And you have to pick up on those nuances. I was going to ask what was the nuance, but it sounds like you just hit the magic hour. Was there a nuance to the trees? Was there a certain size tree, certain type, or what happened?
Kind of. I mean, it was like there was these, I don't know what kind of bushes, some bushes in like real shallow water that I was getting bit on, and then the trees, like just the thicker trees and like 8 foot of water. And honestly, I don't know. There's some other tree too. I can't explain it. It wasn't a super thick tree.
Was it a log perch? We learned about that tonight. Apparently, those live on Kentucky Lake now. That's what the smallmouth eat. It's a real fish. We Googled it. It's not.
They got log perch in Texas, man. What you talking about?
They got sand bass down there. They don't need log perch.
Yeah, they freaking chew the sand bass and the yellow bass.
Yeah, you had old man Cates breathing down your neck on that one too.
Yeah, that's the thing. Cates is a freaking hammer. That dude.
I've been known to stumble into a couple big ones there.
Yeah, I've had way too many times where it's like, oh, I smashed him today, and then you're thinking you won the event, and then you come in at the end of the day, and then the word's, oh, Kate smashed him even more than you did. Like,
he's eating a can of pinto beans with his hands, like, yeah, I caught a few. 112 inches.
Yeah, he just like pulls 112 inches out of his butt. It was like, what?
He's no
Mr.
longer.
White, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's our pleasure. I texted him, I was like, hey man, you jumping on or what? He's like, oh, I was talking to mom and dad.
Mom and dad are important. No, sorry.
I agree completely.
Totally lost track of time. Don't get enough opportunities to talk to them, but here we are. And yeah, we call it getting catesed. Back to that comment. Yeah. It's literally a verb now. It's getting catesed. You just basically.
It makes sense. It checks out. We had him on about a month ago, and he was as entertaining as he always is. I love that guy. God, he's funny.
We had a tournament on Welsh where Brian and I were just absolutely obliterating him in the grass. And I mean, we were just giggling. We're like, yeah, there's no way we won't be top 3. Yeah. I was 5th. I think Brian was 3rd.
Texas be like that, right?
Yeah.
So you guys had a close call. So I was keeping up with ESPN's 30 for 30 BDH the comeback story this season, and I saw his win at Bodark, and then Philip, I saw your post with him in second. I thought that was too good to pass up. So tell us, we've heard the Bodark story. Tell us how this event's set up for you.
So Brian and I know this lake really well, and it was going to be a no limit plus a big bass format. So we decided, why not? We got this double dip opportunity. We can kind of go over here and try to kill a couple of birds with one stone. And this is one of those lakes, if you can get on a gillbed bite, it's really, really fun, and it's hard not to get 100 inches or really high 90s. And Brian and I were talking about a certain area, and I just said, I feel like that area is going to be really good. It's an area we don't typically start in. And it ended up being the ticket. I mean, the majority of my fish I caught, and Brian was basically right there next to me. We caught all of that right in one area off of essentially the same gill beds.
So y'all are sitting there looking at each other in the eyes, trying to beat each other on the 5 fish.
It was weird. He would get a bite on this certain side of the gill bed, and I could not get a sniff over there. And then I was just throwing right down the juice of it, just getting lit up. And he's looking at me like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. What are you doing over there?
Yeah, we could not get bit in the same spot. My area I was getting bit was a little bit next to his, and it was we could not. It was weird.
I like that though, when you're fishing with somebody. That way you're not like kind of both competing against each other for the same exact cast or whatever. I like it when you can figure out, two separate things 30 yards away from each other or something.
Brian and I are good about that. Like I said, that Welsh tournament, we were literally, arm's distance from each other. I mean, our boats were hitting each other at one point. Speaking of hitting boats, Brian, do you want to tell them about what happened?
Oh, yeah. So he got hit by a boater. The boater ran into his kayak.
What?
So I kept the biggest fish in my limit, that 23. I get this fish in my boat, and I'm excited. I power pole down because we're in 4 foot of water because, and there's a boater up on this wall, but the wind's coming, into me. So I'm not really sure how I was going to get to him anyway. I really just didn't want to list off, and I didn't want this boater to jump on my spot. So long story short, I hear this guy as I'm about to release the fish, "You're about to run into me." I'm like, what? Wait a minute. What do you mean? And I'm like thinking this through. Like, I look back at my power pole. I'm still power pole down. And I'm like, wait a minute. The wind's blowing towards me.
I'm not running anywhere.
Yeah. And I said, no, buddy, you're about to hit me. And so he proceeds to, on number 10 on his trolling motor, go directly into the back of my kayak. And then his buddy's pushing off of the back of my kayak.
What?
And so I've been working on not blowing up in these situations. And so I took a deep breath and I said, "Hey, buddy, is this y'all's first time fishing?" And I said it just real casual like that. And Brian's over there giggling, and I'm trying not to be rude about it. And he says, "Oh, yeah, it is." And I said, "Well, I can tell it is just based on what I'm watching unfold. Why are you pushing off my kayak? I'm just curious. What are you trying to achieve?" Oh, it was probably top 5 worst experience and funniest experience all at the same time I've had on a lake. Nothing broke, thankfully, but I got hit by a boat officially.
What if he'd have hit you before you landed that 23 incher?
Yeah.
Then would you have regressed on your progress of not knowing?
Been like Jeremy Hughes all over again.
Alabama haymaker.
I got pretty salty with the guide at Sam Rayburn, and after that, I was like, all right, that wasn't professional. I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to say I didn't do it again, but I didn't do it this time. So
there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's baby steps. You're getting there.
Yeah, it was pretty hilarious. I was just sitting there watching the whole thing unfold, just cracking up. Like,
did you get your phone out or anything?
Show? What?
Did you get your phone out or anything just in case?
I should have. I wish I would have had it on GoPro or my phone or something, but I was just like in disbelief that it was even happening. It was just so shocking that this guy was just right on top of it. Like, he's stationary. He's fucking on the power pole, anchored down.
But it gets better.
Like,
it gets better, though. So after he does that, he goes and spot locks on top of the gill, not out fishing it. He's on top of the gill bed and just spot locks. And I'm like, I'm looking at Brian and I'm like, okay, I'm still trying not to be, trying not to blow up on him. I'm like, should we say something? And I'm like, all right, I got to say something. I'm like, buddy, what are y'all doing? And he's like, what do you mean? I said, you're on top of where I just caught that fish. He said, well, you could come over here and fish. I said, no, that's not the point. Leave. What are you doing? Leave.
Well, we were trying to push you off, but you didn't go anywhere because you were power pole down. So
you just hit us.
Sit on top of the fish.
Golly. 100% they got home and told their wives that some kayaker hit them.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah. It was my fault for sure. I'm still not sure how, but it was.
They filed an insurance claim on the nitro. Still under warranty from Bass Pro.
Oh man, what a character.
So obviously that was the 23-inch story. Tell us about the rest of your day. So
it was funny. I started off and we were both having a hard time catching fish. There was like no wind that day. And I just knew they had to be somewhere in the area. It had all the signs. So I started working this deeper riprap wall that had some grass off of it. And that's how I picked up my limit pretty quick. And then it was funny. Brian was fishing those gill beds we were talking about, and he wasn't getting bit. I hadn't got bit on it, honestly. Earlier, I'd fished it earlier, saw it, and didn't get bit. I'm like, man, there's got to be fish. And I'm making a cast right out in the juice of it, and just this big old bucket comes up and spits my hammer back at me. I'm like, ah. So I knew they were there at that point, and so we just started slowing down and really fishing them slow. And they were there. You basically just had to drag it across the bed, and then they would just smack that hammer as it was going through there. Super fun bite. I know you would have liked it.
Yeah. I'm allergic to fishing now. I don't like to harm the fish.
So
you're trying not to harm people. I'm trying not to harm fish. I'm really giving them a break.
Yeah.
Fish don't feel pain, Ryan. It's okay.
I also caught a goldfish that day. I'll have to send y'all a video of that. But I caught this bass that I was certain was not a bass until I got it in the net. I mean, this thing is as gold as a carp. Really? I've seen pictures like, the freak, but they're usually smallmouth, the ones that are gold. Yeah, there's no smallmouth in this lake for sure. It's just I don't know, some kind of grass mutant, I guess.
Yeah.
Does Texas Parks have like a bounty program on golden bass?
I don't know. I might have lost out on $1 million prize that I didn't know about or something like that.
You probably won a 1999 Silverado.
That's probably why them boys were out there, man. They were chasing that ticket.
Yeah, we seen a golden bass out there the other day. They're high as a kite.
I didn't put two and two together. This was on the same day. You mentioned the No Limit tournament. I mean, you, Mr. Scotch, Matt Scotch, who's been on before, looks like he won the central region of that with you right on his tail there, Philip. How did that go? Was that fun fishing No Limit? Were you in that as well, Brian? I didn't look at the whole. Okay.
Yeah, I won hour 5, I think.
Okay.
$1,000.
I caught my 23 when the guy was catching like 1 billion inches out there in Florida on that 75-inch worm he was using. But
yeah, that's good.
Brian catches a 21 and just easily cashes a check, no problem. Or was that a 22?
It was a 22.
Yeah, 22.
And then you catch a 23 and don't get anything.
I ended up cashing. I got my money back essentially. I got 19th in the No Limit. I mean, like I said, that gill bed bite was just so fire. We sat there and just smacked them. And then they just seemed, the bite just really turned on the back half of the day. So I started running banks with the hammer, and I mean, it just seemed like you couldn't get in an area you weren't getting bit. So that's how I ended up getting 19th in that.
Was it a multi-lake event for the Central? Okay, all right.
Yeah, there was, I say multi for the Central. There was Gilmer, and then you could fish LBJ. Was there one other, Brian?
Well, that's for the event, the East Texas event we fished was just Gilmer, but
the No Limit event.
The No Limit, you could fish different. Yeah, it was LBJ, Caddo, Gilmer,
Rayburn.
Oh wow! All right.
Something else, I'm sure.
There was a really good lakes on there.
Yeah.
And then we fished a pond and smoked them.
Yeah, I mean, for folks that don't know, I mean, I've never heard of Gilmer Lake myself. So, what kind of lake is that? Is it not very large, I presume?
No,
it's real small, and it's got a lot of timber on it, so it fishes really small when there's boats on it.
Is there a lot of bass boat pressure outside of the guy that parked on you?
Well, there's a guy that owns a fishing company here in Texas that fishes the Elite Series that went out and blew it up on social media. I won't name his name, but Christine Fisher went out there and said there was something like 50 boaters on a Monday.
Oh, wow.
And this is a lake that normally you go out on a Saturday or a Sunday and you might see 10 boats unless there's an actual boat tournament, and it might be like a 15-person derb.
Popular.
Is that Mr. Ben Milliken throwing glides out there in those trees, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
It's getting a lot more specific there.
Well, yeah. I just
won't confirm nor deny who that is.
Yeah. Well,
I think his name's Cody O'Neill is probably the guy that did it, as I see in the comments.
He's in the chat. Daddy. He called himself Daddy.
Cody's always lurking around a bathroom somewhere.
Hey, it's part of it. You run a channel, you want to be successful. I get it. I'm not hating on them at all. It's just one of your local lakes. You'd hate to see that it gets blown up, but it's part of it.
It's hard to watch that shit. Like MLF, obviously Connell got on the tail race bite at Guntersville, and like it was just miserable to like not only to watch it, but having people send me 1 million clips of it. And then they turn around and Wheeler goes to the Chickamauga tail race and does the same damn thing up there. I'm like, all right, anyway, off the Tennessee River now. We'll go somewhere else.
That's
the same
insane.
thing with Athens. They blew up Athens after they had that big tournament out there.
Oh, wow. Duke's putting you on blast, Jeff.
Yeah. Gilmer's a quarter the size of Graham. I went up there, and if he's talking about that lake, I tried to kill myself driving the Subaru down some dirt road to fish with.
That was the wind cancellation day, right?
Yeah.
The best tournament day ever.
Yeah. That's not a very big lake. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, Gilmer is 1,000 acres.
Yeah. Tiny.
Very small.
Well, look, regardless, y'all had a fun day, got on them, got to watch each other catch them. Did you ever figure out what the difference was? I'm assuming you were both throwing the same bait.
To this day, I mean, Brian, could you tell the difference? I mean, I'd had a different color trailer on. Does that count? I mean,
you had them dialed in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Switched one shade off on the trailer.
Well, when you get on those gill bites, those fish will sit up on the edge on them, and I think it's just a timing deal. You bring it by there at the right time, and she's sitting there waiting on a gill to get off their bed, and she'll just smoke that hammer when it's going by, or whatever you're fishing that looks like a gill. So
yeah, definitely seemed like a timing deal, because you fish that brim bed for 30 minutes and pick off a fish or two, and then you wouldn't have anything for a while, and you'd go fish some other stuff, come back, an hour or two later, and you pick off a couple more fish, and then it die again, and you just keep cycling back through, every once in a while, just checking it.
Well, that's awesome. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Real fun.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate y'all coming on. Philip, thank you for carving out some time in your busy day to speak with us for a few minutes. We do appreciate it. I knew this would be entertaining. I had a feeling. I don't know why. I had no idea about the boat interaction. That's all. That was all just a bonus.
We'll clip that up.
Brian, next time, get your phone out. Come on. Don't miss these opportunities. Make some magic.
Yeah,
like I said, I was just in disbelief. Like, I could not believe that was reality. That was actually happening. I was just sitting there frozen, just like glued to what was going on.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
It's spot on. That's Mrs. Ma'am to you.
Oh boy, Jeff, you got anything?
No, man. I'll let these guys slide out here. Are y'all both fishing 10 killer? Good luck to you on 10 killer. I think I saw Philip's name on there.
I might. I don't know. I haven't decided. There's a Texas Bass Nation event the same day on Stillhouse, so it's like, oh, do I want to fish that, or I want to fish 10 killer? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, good luck either place.
What are you thinking on it, Philip?
I want to go to 10 killer. I'm trying to get him to commit, so it's an easy decision. We basically got our whole Mariner team up there, but it's a hard decision because that's a double dip on Stillhouse, and that's a grass lake that can be really fun this time of year. Last time they fished it, if you had low 90s, you didn't even get a check.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
so that will be a good one then.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. We'll be keeping up, and hopefully we'll have you guys on. This season again for winning something big.
I'm sure.
If not, we'll just keep an eye on you and I'll try to spot where I feel like a good story took place, and we'll scratch off the ticket there.
Yeah, I'll set my alarm next time.
Yeah, no, it's my fault. I should have reminded you more.
No. Appreciate you, fellas.
I'll work on that.
I appreciate you guys.
Y'all take it easy, boys.
Later, guys.